I guess everybody, welcome to the 60-minute virtual workshop, Safaris and Lodges edition. Thank you to all the exhibitors for being here, and thank you for all the attendees. I see the numbers are climbing because it's now 2 minutes past 11. So we're going to start now. What we're going to do is I'm going to introduce Amanda from the Madagascar Classic Collection, who will tell you a bit more about her wonderful properties there. Over to you, Amanda.
Okay, thank you, Evan. Hi, everyone. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, so let me get started with it. My timer on 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so I'm Amanda from Madagascar Classic Collection. So just get it to move. There we go. So here we are. The company was founded about 20 years ago in 2007. We're a British-owned and managed company, and our head office is based in Antananarivo in Madagascar. So the owner, Ed Tucker Brown, he's also a Brit. And then our company consists of Madagascar Classic Collection, which is both a DMC based in Antananarivo, and we are also the owners of three different camps. So Manjari River Camp was the first camp that was opened in 2007. Then later on, Namaroka Tsingi Camp came. That was in about 2024. And then Manapiafi Beach and Rainforest Lodge was closed during COVID, but it's reopening now this September. So at Madagascar Classic Collection, our focus is on supporting the communities in which we operate and conserving the unique environment of Madagascar. So just a couple of quick facts about Madagascar if you're not familiar with it. It's an island situated east of South Africa or Southern Africa, or Africa as the continent, but it is huge. It consists of about 587 square kilometers. It's got a population of over 35 million people, and then the people in Madagascar is a combination of Indonesian and African descent. But what's most amazing about Madagascar is that home to 5% of the planet's biodiversity. So it's also the world's fourth largest island. So if you impose the map of Madagascar on the map of Europe, then it's basically from the top of France to the bottom of Spain, which is quite incredible if you think about it. But as I said, what's most important is the biodiversity. So Madagascar is a species of baobab trees. There's over 117 species of lemurs, the apple palms, over 100 chameleon species, which consists of half the world's chameleons, are found in Madagascar. The world's smallest primate, which is Madame Berg's mouse lemur. The only blue-eyed safica, which is the black safica, and then over 150 endemic bird species. It is the weather, because it's such a big island, each region has got its own climate or climate zones. So the west of the island tends to be very dry. Then the east of the island, that is where you find all your wetlands, rainforests, that tends to be quite wet. And then the central plateau where Antananarivo is, that is traditionally a combination of both. The dry season in Madagascar is from May to October. The rainy season is from November through to April, and then the only time of year we advise people not to travel is during cyclone season, which is from January through to March. That's also a time of the year when a lot of the properties are closed for seasonal renovations and just for avoiding the cyclones. So to get to Madagascar, there's a lot of really good international connections nowadays. So for South African people of traveling from Southern Africa, SA Airlink is the most convenient. They've got almost daily flights directly into Antananarivo from Johannesburg. And then also they've got once weekly and in season twice weekly flights going into Nosy Bay. But then you can see there's a whole variety of other international airlines that also fly into Madagascar on almost a daily basis. So starting off with our camps, Mandjari River Camp. This is down in the southeast of Madagascar. It's also our first camp. It started in 2007. So the camp itself is situated on the banks of the Mandjari River. To get to us, you can make use of the scheduled charter flights. We've got twice weekly scheduled charter flights on a Monday and a Friday. And these charter flights are quite long. It takes about 2.5 hours to fly down to the lodge. And then when it's the off season, people can also make use of Air Madagascar, which flies into Fort de Fern. Let me just see where my mouse is. This is where Fort de Fern is. So it's about a 3-hour drive to get to the lodge. But if you make use of the scheduled charter flight, you fly directly to our airstrip. So the airstrip is about 5 minutes away from the lodge, and it's very convenient. So that's what my this and it's unique looking trees called octopus trees. And they're also home to a unique species of lemurs. The one in the picture is called the Verastica. It's only found in the south part of Madagascar. And then the south is also very well known for the ring-tailed lemurs and as well. So as I mentioned, the camp is situated on the edge of the river or the banks of the river. So it consists of 9 East African style safari tents. Each of them have got a deck that overlooks the river with their own private terrace, beautiful room, and then also a camp. So they've always got hot water and electricity. Beautiful views. Very comfortable tents. We've also got one family tent and a honeymoon suite tent, which is a bit more spacious, but very comfortable. There's a lounge, swimming pool area, as well, just because of the lovely river. But the camp itself is underneath the tamarind trees. At our lodges, all of our lodges, it's fully inclusive. So it includes all your meals, your drinks, and your activities. And the food up there is really great, thanks to the French influence. So these are some of our safari-style lunches or dinners that we do. So the experience that guests will have at the lodge is very similar to what you will get at the safari lodge in. The only difference is just that all of our activities are basically walking activities. So there's very little activities where you will do game viewing by vehicle. So you usually would drive to the edge of the forest and you'll get off and you'll start walking, looking for the lemurs, the birds, and the chameleons. So this is just one of the chameleons also in the, sorry, not the chameleons, the lemurs in the octopus trees, the Verastica, our ring-tailed lemur friend. There's also night walks. So during your night walks, you will find the lemurs that are night species or night lemurs. The one on the left is your mouse lemur, which is the smallest primate. And then also your chameleons are quite easy to spot in the night. And then, as I said, it's amazing for bird viewing as well. Mandjari in the south of Madagascar is in a very unique position that are close because of the Mandjari River, close to the local community. So we are able to also build in quite a strong cultural element into guest visits. So they can visit the local village. There's beautiful burial places close by. The Madagascar people have quite an intricate burial rituals, which the guides will explain to the guests. There's also the sacred forest and community forest. So it means that guests can really get a good sense of Madagascar's unique cultural life as well. If guests are staying for 4 nights down at Mandjari, they can also do an excursion to an area called Lakanuni, which is this beautiful saltwater lake about 2 hours drive from the lodge. It's at the ocean, so you can see you can literally put your feet in the ocean, and then also walk on the beautiful sand dunes. And it's got a large flock of flamingos there. We normally normally do it as a full day excursion, and then people can have a picnic lunch between the dunes as well. Conservation in the southern part of Madagascar is very important. So we've got quite a few projects that we've got. I put quite a conservation document that I'm happy to share if that is something that your guests are very interested in. The south of Madagascar. Manafiafi is basically based an hour south of Fort Defense. It's also down in the south, and it makes a lovely combination if guests fly down because they can use the same charter flights. So they can fly from Antananarivo down to Manjari River Camp, stay at Manjari, and then once the charter flight comes again, they can do the air hop to Fort Defense, and then it's a 1 hour road transfer to get to Manafiafi Beach and Forest Lodge. Going back to Antananarivo, normally the scheduled charter flight refuels in Fort Defense. So it will then just pick the guests from Manafiafi up again and take them back to Antananarivo. The other alternative is also people can fly directly from Antananarivo into Fort Defense with Madagascar Airlines. So you've got some options. So this is the location of Manafiafi. So what makes Manafiafi quite unique is it's a oops, sorry. So, it seems second, apologies. Okay, so I'm just gonna go quickly. So Manafiafi, this is where it is located. The edge of the bay, so it's a very nicely protected bay, and then it consists of 5 ensuite bungalows, very spacious with their own unique access to the beach. Then also the activities there is water-based activities, and it's also walking in the rainforest, the coastal rainforest, and we'll do some lovely activities on the beach for guests as well. So Manafiafi is only opening on the 15th of September, so I'll have more information ready for you closer to the time. Then just quickly, Namaroka Tsingi Camp. So Namaroka is based in the northwest of Madagascar. What makes it unique is this lovely Tsingi rock formation. So Namaroka is one of the most remote national parks in Madagascar, and it is one of the least visited just because it's so difficult to get to. So, but it's very unique in the sense that it's got 10 different species of lemurs. There's 8 other lemur animal species to be found there, over 100 species of birds, and there's 6 different ecosystems to explore. So the Tsingi is definitely the star attraction. So to get to Namaroka, you would fly from Antananarivo to an airstrip called Swalala, and then from there it's about a 2.5 to 3 hour road transfer to get to the lodge. So it is quite remote. This is the landing strip. And then just going to go through the presentation a bit quick. So these are the limestone, Tsingi limestone rock formations. So they're very unique and very beautiful, and Madagascar is the only place on earth where you will find them. There's only 3 places in Madagascar where they are, and then Namaroka is the second largest. So underneath the Tsingi, you also found the largest cave system in Africa, and we've been working extensively with Wildlife Madagascar to explore these species. There's lots of fossils. It's quite a unique environment for guests to visit. That area also has 2 different species of baobabs, and then some of the lemurs that you will see most often is the common brown lemur. This fellow on the screen now is called the sportive lemur, which is a night lemur. The safikas that you find up there is called on the Deccan safikas. They live in the gallery forest. It's quite a unique the activity at Roka is slightly different because they're traveling to get to the activities a bit further. So normally guests will leave straight after breakfast. They'll go to the Tsingi and to the forest, where they will then do the activity, and then they normally end up with the doing a picnic lunch before they return to the lodge. And then later on in the evening, they'll go for either sundowners or they'll go for a night walk closer to camp. So there's also a huge roost of flying foxes and then some amazing lizards. And these are called fusa. They are the apex predator in Madagascar. So unfortunately, they eat lemurs. So we're not always sure if we like them. So the camp itself consists of 9 East African style safari tents. It was built in between the two rocks. So these are all natural tsingy. And then the experience is very of the environment. They're spacious. They've got beautiful ensuite bathrooms and also their own outside showers. So very, very unique and beautiful. And as I said, we also quite with Wildlife Madagascar. So this is the end of my presentation. I'll also be sending a follow-up. So if you guys have more questions or want some more training on Madagascar, then you're always welcome to get in touch with me. Let me just stop sharing my slideshow. Stop sharing. Hi, can you see me?
Yes. And your presentation.
Okay. I'm handing over to Joy. So Joy, you can take the floor now. Thank you.
Sorry, Joy, just before. Sam, we just want
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Joy,
Welcome to, yeah.
just a second, sorry. We're just going to see if Sam's able to go, if the microphone got sorted out. Sam? I'm afraid we're not hearing you. Okay. So, Joy, please continue.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Today I'm here to represent Travessia Beach Lodge, which is in Mozambique. I'm just trying to share my screen. And believe it or not, Enslin, Earburn.
The problem, Joy?
Yeah, it's, oh, here we go. Right, I'm sharing my slide. I tell you, this is not for the weak-hearted. I'm sharing I hope you can see my screen. Mozambique, it truly is away from it all. And Travessia Beach Lodge, even more so. It's boutique-sized, privately owned eco lodge in the south of Vilanculos. So it is, if you know Mozambique, then it is not too far above Inhamban. Most people fly in to Vilanculos, and then it's a 2.5 hour transfer down to the lodge. What is great about the lodge is you really do feel as if you are Robinson Crusoe, but a modern Robinson Crusoe, because there is no other tourism site within 20 kilometers. So there you can see the map for Vilanculos. Most airlines fly into Vilanculos, but if you are already in Mozambique, you can fly into Inhamban, and then we can transfer you from there, and it's approximately 1.5 hours. But that is what you go to Travessia for. Endless horizons, no footprints but your own. And as far as you look to the left and as far as you look to the right is pristine beach. That is leading from the swimming pool to the last dune. You can see that's a 50-meter swing bridge, which we introduced nearly 2 years ago now. Right, no crowds, just a hammock, a breeze, and a view of nobody. And why I say no crowds is because we only have 5 casinas, so you truly do feel you've got it all to yourself. We definitely are inspired by nature and defined by simplicity and guided by purpose. Right, that is very typically what a casino looks like. The one on the top left is a normal double room. The one in the middle there is a family room. We have 3 deluxe double rooms, and we have 2 family rooms. They all have beautiful decks with hammocks, and they are built from totally natural products, so are very ergonomically designed. Right, there you can see the family rooms, the pool lounge, the beach deck, and the emphasis is really on fresh and Mozambique. That Palm Grove, we love to do intimate little dinners for honeymooners, etc. And just before I forget about it, we do have 2 bush and beach combinations, including Saviti Game Lodge in Thornybush and Travessia in Mozambique. Emphasis is definitely on seafood. Unless you're not a seafood lover, then we cater alternatively. We do not have a masseuse on site, but we can very easily bring one in. And you wake up every morning to a lovely tray of tea or coffee or whatever your morning drink is waiting for you outside the door. Our philosophy has always been less is more. Leave nothing behind but your footprints. Whoops, sorry. What do we offer guests at Travessia? Well, the most important thing, of course, is the beach and the sea. Warm water year-round. We have no bad tides, and we do not have a receding tide either. So it's very safe for guests to swim. We have boogie boards for children, we have kayaks, we have fat tire bicycles, and they are all complimentary. The richest journeys are those that connect us, and this we really do believe because we are very involved with our local community. All barring 2 of the workers at Travessia come from the local community, and we have upskilled them. We like to do a complimentary walk with one of the team members so that guests can actually see how the local community live. I absolutely adore this picture because you don't have to speak the same language, but give a little boy a soccer ball and a cool drink and they are A for away and friends forever. These were 2 British tourists who stayed with us, and the team got to hear that they liked soccer. So Sunday morning, kits were delivered to their room and they went off and played with the local team. In Mozambique, you are expected to give back. And besides this, we have now introduced a $6 per person per night community levy so that we can do more. What we have done to date is we've built a great well for the locals, and we've also built a school, and we now have a full-time kindergarten teacher teaching 60 children a day. Now, though, we'd like to concentrate on more adult education. Your biggest problem in that area is actually teenage pregnancy, because girls don't speak English, they don't even speak Portuguese. So we'd like to start training them and showing them that it is a big wide world out there, and they too can become a hotel manager or a housekeeper. Right, if we are not great for deep sea diving or snorkeling, but if guests are staying there long enough, then we can transfer them to Tofo for the day. We'll leave in the morning, do their activities, have lunch in Tofo, and then we would transfer them back. Yeah, and this is my last little slide. Do you remember freedom? Do you remember what it was like to walk along a beach and actually not feel threatened, know that your cell phone was safe? Our rates this year are American dollars, 224 Rand per person per night, full board. So I think we are very reasonably priced. Now, I'm going to stop share. If you've got any questions, I will be following up on email, and I'm very happy to answer them. Thank you for listening to my presentation. And now I am handing over to Ensslin.
Great. Thank you very much, Joy. I appreciate the presentation. I'm waiting for the invite for me and you to go spend some time together there. It's a long overdue. Right. Hi, everybody. My name is Ensslin. I am from A&E Marketing, Southern Africa. Just going to pop up my screen here quickly. Go. Right. Can you see my presentation, Ibn?
Yes.
Perfect. Right. So, like I said, I'm Ensslin from A&E Marketing Southern Africa. So we are a marketing and representation company for privately owned, owner-run and owner-managed hotels, guest houses, resorts, safari lodges all over South Africa. And now we've branched into Africa as well. We've also added some hotels in Tanzania as well. And we're looking at adding properties in Namibia, part of the portfolio in the near future. Today, I'll just represent a few of the properties on our portfolio for safari lodges that we've got part of the portfolio. Firstly, you'll see on the map, all our properties are located from Cape Town along the coastal side, all the way up to Durban into the Kruger National Park and then into Johannesburg. It is easy to do an itinerary or a routing just from one portfolio for boutique-styled home away from home feeling properties. The first property I'm going to represent to you is a property that is situated on Amakhala Game Reserve, just outside of Grahamstown. Now, Woodbury Manor is one of the latest offerings that is part of the Woodbury collection. It is owned by the Gush family, which started their lodges in the Amakhala Game Reserve in 1999. This property is designed for families and for friends. It's a true 5-star experience. It's an all-inclusive accommodation. It consists of the central building features large lounges, a dining room, a fireplace, a kitchen, as well as a wooded deck area to overlook the views of the Amakhala Game Reserve with a pool area as well. The staff on the property is catered just for the guests that are on the property itself. Beautiful outside dining area. They've got inside dining areas as well. The chef that makes the food in front of you, and also friendly staff to assist you when you get back from your drives or your walks. The bathrooms are big and spacious. As you can see, even lying in your bath, you've got a view over Amakhala Game Reserve. It's big, it's spacious, it's very exclusive for this, or very private use for the guests. And the rooms are also big and spacious with big sliding doors overlooking the Amakhala Game Reserve itself. They've got on the property, they've got on the main building, they've got 2 ensuite bedrooms in the main building, and then they've got 2 separate chalets with rooms in them as well. But as you can see, it's situated right on the hilltop overlooking the Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, all drives are being done on the Amakhala Reserve itself, where there's the big 5 that walk around. They do walking trails and hiking trails on the property itself, and they've also dropped the fence between the 2 sides of the road of Amakhala, so all the animals roam around freely on the reserve itself there as well. Right, then we move towards the Klein Karoo, and we move towards just outside of Oudtshoorn. 6 kilometers outside of town of Oudtshoorn, you get this beautiful property called Buffelsdrift Game Lodge. Now, Buffelsdrift Game Lodge is, they've got 34 luxury tents. 5 of those tents are family units itself. It is very private and secluded. They've just added solar panels, so they've gone completely off the grid. They added solar panels on their parking lot so that they run off the grid completely. And it's also now shaded areas, of course, for the Oudtshoorn sun. In the summers, it's also now shaded areas for the cars to park underneath as well. As you'll see that all the tents are situated around a 5-hectare dam. 9 of the tents are the canvas tents are situated right on the water side. They're called the luxury waterhole tents, and the rest are also just behind them. We call them the bush tents, but they overlook the 5-hectare dam as well, where there are 5 hippos that live in that dam as well. The rooms It is a tent, but it is a paneled canvas tent. So it is a 4-star luxury glamping experience. They've got outside showers. They've got a bath inside overlooking the dam. They've got a nice deck area overlooking the dam area as well. And then also very beautiful interior and furnished Kruger styled interior for the tents that they've got in the property as well. Then, of course, they've got beautiful views. The lodging facility itself, the restaurant can seat up to about 150 people on the inside of the restaurant and 250 people on the outside deck area. Beautiful a la carte dinners in the evenings. They've got buffet breakfast in the mornings. But just a beautiful view from the lodging facility with a nice lounge area where people can sit on top and read some books and overlook the water as well. And then also a bar facility for guests that day visitors as well, that even just want to come in and pop in and have a drink or a lunch or a bite to eat as well. Then the departure point for the safari vehicles, this is also quite new. They've added the departure point with a nice little meet and greet area. And also when you arrive back from your bush safari, you get greeted with a drink and a cloth and all of that nice luxury unique touch just to welcome the guests back. Within the winter, of course, there's a nice fire burning for those cold winter days when the snow is on the Swartberg Mountains to greet the guests around the fire with a drink before they head down to the lodging area or back to their tent. Now, there are 23 different species on Buffelsdrift Game Lodge. Just to highlight, the elephants that are on Buffelsdrift Game Lodge are orphaned elephants. About 24 years ago, when the fence dropped between Mozambique and the Kruger, there were a group of elephants that were actually poached, and these are 3 of the 6 babies that were left without parents. Buffelsdrift put their hand up and they took these 3 babies in. They are called Bulelu, Malaika, and Jubari. These babies were raised by Joseph Maseku and some other elephant handlers on the property itself, and they do elephant experiences in the sense of only feeding the elephants. They've moved away from taking photos with the elephants, all of that. They've only do the elephant feeding experience, but it's as an educational experience. Same with the lions. The lions were bred in captivity in the Western Cape, which is not allowed. So Buffelsdrift put their hand up. They took the lions in and they built them a 7-hectare camp on the farm and neutered them so they can't have any babies. And now they are kept on the farm just because they can't be released back into the wild, unfortunately. But to put their money where their mouth is with regards to all the funds being all the funds coming in from those activities to put straight into the conservation side of things, the rehabilitation, they bought the farm next door and actually introduced the free roaming cheetah meta population program. So the cheetahs are next door, where there's a cheetah experience where you can actually go and spot those cheetahs as well. When they mate and they have little babies, those babies after 2 years are transported to a different farm that's part of the meta population, so that the cheetah population can grow within South Africa. And then you also have animals like the zebra, the buffalo, the white rhino. Also have meerkats on the farm, and also a bunch of other wildlife to experience on a bush safari at Buffelsdrift Game Lodge. Then we move towards the Kruger National Park side in the southern part of Kruger, 20 minutes from the Crocodile Bridge Gate. You find this beautiful, beautiful property within Marlow Park, right on the Crocodile River, called Mavura Donna Safari Lodge. Now, Mavura Donna Safari Lodge has got 7 suites altogether. They've got a beautiful lodging area where they host their breakfast on the deck or on the inside, depending on the weather. They've got uninterrupted views of the Kruger National Park in front of it. As you can see from the picture on your left-hand side, you'll see there's uninterrupted views where you can hear the lions, see the animals coming down to the waterside from the deck of the lodge itself. They've got, like I said, 7 chalets, 7 rooms altogether on the property, and 1 honeymoon suite as well. The rooms are big, it's spacious, and it's got beautiful doors opening up and overlooking the lodging area, and also overlooking the Kruger in front of you. They've got their own guide with their own vehicle, so they do half-day and full-day safari experiences within the Kruger National Park. Now, this is a great lodge to use if you want to do photography safaris, because the owner is actually a wildlife photographer. So he is great with taking the guests out on photography experiences, or just as a normal game drive you want to do in the Kruger National Park. He is well equipped to give you all the information you need of the animals and of the Kruger National Park itself. Then our last property we're going to do is a little bit more on the northern side of Kruger towards Hoedspruit. So we've got Pazulu Treehouse Lodge. Now, Pazulu Treehouse Lodge is a unique experience. This property is a small lodge with an exclusive treehouse game lodge in the Guernsey private nature of the Greater Kruger, 40 minutes from the Kruger National Park's open gate. This property celebrates its surroundings with building these houses in the trees and overlooking the Kruger, and hearing the animals from up the trees in the evenings is absolutely phenomenal. The rooms are big and spacious. It's wooden floored. They've got outside showers. They've got baths in them. It's just a convenient stay within a tree, which is a completely different experience for the Kruger National Park side. You've got the beautiful lodging facility with a communal dinner boma area. The fire is burning every night. All the guests eat together. They've got traditional dances there in the evenings for guests. They've got a beautiful pool facility, relaxing areas, a nice lookout deck at the lodge itself. So just a great property to use as well. And then they also have all the tree houses are very private and secluded. So no tree house can actually overlook one another. So it's very private, secluded. That's why an outside showers are brilliant within a tree at this property as well, because nobody can actually look at you except for an animal, maybe staring at you from a distance or something like that. But it is a great property to use for families and for other guests as well. For any kids under the age of 6 years old, they've built this property, which is a ground floor accommodation, but also great for bigger families. Because it is a little bit unsafe for kids to be up in those trees because it's quite high up. For guests with little kids, this is a great property to use and experience those the lodging facility and the surrounds of the Guernsey area. Then the property also has a lot of wildlife that walk around there, except for lions and all of that. There are hyenas that walk around. There's giraffes. There's buffalo. All that walk around freely between the lodge, between the tree houses and the lodging facility as well. But then they also do a lot of game drives within the Kruger, or hiking trails, walking trails, safari trails they do with guides, professional guides that they got themselves with their own game vehicles as well. Right, and then that will be my presentation. If you have any other questions of any of the properties we have on our portfolio, please feel free to contact me and I will follow up on all of the information I get from you guys, and then I'll hand over to Eben.
Thank you, Enslin. I think we're just going to give Sam a try.
Big time lucky.
Yes, there we are.
I feel like I've aged about 20 years. So
I'm sure.
Okay.
Welcome, Sam.
So I'm going to share my screen now. Hang on. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. So you can all hear me, I'm assuming. Am I looking good there, Eben?
You do great. And
okay. Not me, but my presentation.
Oh, that too.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your patience from my side. I can see some familiar names there, so hello to everybody and to the people that I don't know. So this is actually my whole portfolio on the screen as you see it, but today I'm going to be talking about my 3 lodges, which I'm very proud to represent. We're starting off in the Eastern Cape with the lovely Pumba Private Game Reserve. It's a 5-star property. And just in terms of location, it's 90 minutes from Kruger and it's 20 minutes the other end once you get to Pumba, to Grahamstown. So it's quite far up, but it's definitely worth the visit. So they've got 2 lodges, both of equal luxury, but just very different sort of vibes and feel. So you've got the Water Lodge, which is overlooking Lake Kruger. This lodge tends to be, and I'm not putting anybody into boxes because they both take any kinds of guests, but this tends to be very popular with honeymooners. The chalets are a little bit sort of set more apart. They tend to be a little bit more individual. So there's some maybe with an open bathroom, others with not, you know, different sort of layouts, if you like. So we have 12 chalets here for the Water Lodge, and they do include a family accommodation as well. All of the chalets, regardless of which lodge, have a outside pool, private pool, and they're very sort of like open outside sort of living, outside inside type of feel. And yeah, just look at that there. Lovely big luxury bathrooms. Each lodge has their own restaurant and their own facilities. The lodges are about 20 minutes apart. And there is a couple of differences with the Bush Lodge, which I will show you just now. All meals, game drives, and local beers and wines are included at Pumba. So this is an example of the Bush Lodge. As you can see, it's floor to ceiling glass, giving you that encapsulated feeling into the bushveld. These rooms are all, although they do have a family accommodation as well, but the individual ones are all very much the same. So if you have got a group of people wanting to have similar you know, rooms, more identical rooms, then the Bush Lodge would be for you. They also have a large boma area. It tends to be a little bit more sort of social and interactive, whereas the other lodge, being maybe honeymooners, couples tend to sort of want to dine at their own tables. Again, each lodge has their own pool and restaurant. There is a spa situated at the Bush Lodge, which you can use regardless of where you're staying. One of the biggest selling points about this lodge is their free roaming, self-sustaining white lions. They have had a conservation breeding program since 2005, and they are fully integrated, having giving many litters of cubs, and there is now quite a large pride of them. They are free roaming and self-sustainable. Yeah, and now we're moving on to the Greater Kruger, starting off with Elephant Plains, a very well-known lodge, known, I think I'm right in saying, probably the best priced 4-star within the Sabi Sand Reserve. That does, of course, before you start shouting at me, that does mean that the availability tends to be a little bit limited sometimes. But what can I say? If you've got the longer lead bookings, first come, first serve. You must get in there as soon as you can. It's got a lovely big lounge there, beautiful public areas, all sort of open and free sort of style. The restaurant, and then the boma evenings. And then accommodation-wise, they have 5 rondavels, which have all been recently refurbished. They've all got their own little deck and beautifully done in the last few months there. I think it was actually about a year now, but lovely new bathrooms as well. And they do have, they're quite nice sizes, so they can, you know, some rondavels can feel a little bit small. They do also have a family rondavel as well, a 2-roomed one. This is one of the luxury suites. The luxury suites, they have 6. They're very large suites, very open plan, and they have huge big decks as well. And then this is still the luxury suite. And then we have the Manuletti honeymoon suite. there is only one of these, and this one does have its own private pool as well. And then the last accommodation is a luxury suite. So sorry, a family luxury suite. It's 2 full bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, but it doesn't have a lounge. And the rooms can't be sold individually. It's sold as the double bedroom, the 2 rooms and the 2 bathrooms. But it does have an absolutely massive wraparound deck around the whole chalet. There are 2 communal pools and 2 game drives per day. The drinks are not included here, but with the price that they offer, I don't think you'd expect that. Just one last thing to say about Elephant Plains is that they have just made quite a dramatic change to their child policy. They've always been known for basically taking children of any ages. I think even on the game drives, you know, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. But they have now, apparently the insurances for these things have, the price for the insurances have just absolutely gone off the chart. And Etienne, the owner, has made the difficult decision now to say that they will only accept children 8 and older at the lodge. So obviously any bookings that are already in place will be honoured, but going forward, they will only be taking children 8 years and over. And if you cannot find any availability at Elephant Plains, we do have another option, Motlebetsi Safari Lodge. It's in the Balule Reserve, and I find that the most operators I call on, they either use the Balule Reserve and absolutely love it. They either haven't heard of it before, or they've got wrong perceptions about it. It really is the most incredible reserve. Just over 50,000 hectares, and you've probably got about 10 lodges there, commercial lodges, and meaning that the traversing areas are pretty huge. This isn't a great picture in terms of greenery, obviously taken in the dry season there, but you can see in that clump of trees there, the lodge is all beneath there. And then they've got the water hole there in front. Bit of a close up there. So you've got 6 rondavels on the left. You've got 2 double family suites that can be sold as individuals as well. So basically, you're talking 10 rooms, all of which can also take a 3rd bed, an extra single bed. So those 2 family suites can actually take 6 on each room. So each interconnecting room. They do have a luxury suite as well, which I'll get to that. This is Georgie and Mark. They're actually the relatively new owners. They've only been in charge for the last couple of years. Georgie's mother did own the land for many, many, many years, but she used to lease it to other business owners, for want of a better description. So as mentioned, they have the rondavels. And I think some operators turn their nose up at rondavels, but let me tell you, the people that come there, absolutely, they love the fact that they're staying in a rondavel. It's for the European markets, Belgium, Netherlands, the Germans. Most of them love the fact that they're coming to a very authentic African lodge. It doesn't suit everybody, but let me tell you, the people that go there absolutely love it. Like Elephant Plains, it is 4-star, but this is definitely more authentically African. You can see there, you have lunch on the lawn, and you can see the water hole from there. So this is one of the rondavels. Again, very spacious. You've got your outdoor showers. Nothing like a nice early morning shower in the African bush. And then they have the one luxury suite, which is in a sort of a compound on its own, perfect for honeymooners. You've got your luxury spacious bedroom there, lovely bathroom, and then your own private pool. That is the Impala Lily Suite. They've also invested recently in several new vehicles. And yeah, the game viewing is fantastic. It really is. As I say, 12,000 traversing areas, very family friendly. They have great rates if you do want to do a private game drive. And they also now do walking safaris as well. Stunning food. And one of the biggest, I also do their social media, so I see the feedback all the time. And one of the biggest comments is about the staff. They do have a small massage spa as well. There we go. That is me over and done with. We got there in the end. Thanks for your patience. I'm not sure if I'm introducing anybody now, Eben.
Me.
Oh, you. Okay, over to Eben. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Right, so morning all. Today I'm going to be telling you about Vomba Tours. Vomba Tours is a company that works in the greater Kruger area, and they do tours and safaris, transfers between the airports and the lodges, and between lodges as well. Interesting fact is the founder and director is Kimbini Hlongwane, and he started out in a small village and he used to herd cattle and goats, and so he was exposed to wildlife from a young age. The interesting thing was, you know, it could be quite challenging because every day they had to try to find food without becoming food. So his love for wildlife saw him joining Inyati Game Lodge in Sabi Sand Reserve as an animal tracker in 1994. And then for years he worked eventually as a game ranger in 5-star game lodges. And 29 years after he entered the industry, he started his own company called Vomba Tours, very well known and reliable in the Kruger area. So Duzunizani Hlongwane is the director, and he's based in Mpumalanga, Lowveld, bordering the Kruger National Park. They have a very good work ethos, which is why they are so successful, and they work with top lodges within Kruger and surrounds. Right, so they've got a high quality fleet of vehicles, obviously with the correct insurances and indemnities, and satellite tracking on all their vehicles as well. And I know that if you get into vehicles, you actually get an iPad too. So they are obviously very well maintained. They've got the necessary permits, and it ranges from a luxury mini coach that can do up to 19 passengers, all air conditioned. So if you've got groups going to Kruger, they would definitely be your best way of getting around. And obviously everybody gets complimentary mineral water and snacks. Then they've got a vehicle that can take up to 13 passengers. All the vehicles are air conditioned, which can be important in your hot season. And then they also have a little bus that can do up to 10 passengers. And then they've got your luxury SUVs that they can do up to 3 passengers. Open safari vehicles that can do up to 10 passengers. They can do half day and full day game drives within Kruger. They will actually even collect people at lodges outside of Kruger, like in White River region, and actually take them in for the day into Kruger. Right, so they actually do a full sales and reservation support. Very, very professional, and you are always, you know, on top of the situation in terms of what is happening with your guests and clients. Right, so they are actually quite, you know, very cool in terms of the value of connectivity. I've mentioned that before. When guests arrive at the airport, they'll be met with the name and lodge signage visible on a tablet. They have complimentary Wi-Fi on board, and then they also have an online booking system. Right, and then obviously the different tours and safaris they can do. You know, they can do private road transfers as mentioned. And then the guided safari drives in Kruger National Park. So, you know, they do the open vehicles, which is really fantastic. And they operate from Hazyview, Hoedspruit, Paul Kruger Gate, Babeni Gate, Orpen Gate, Malalaan, and Crocodile Bridge. So they are all over. Right, they also do guided bushwalks within Kruger National Park. It's a 3-hour excursion, and it's just a different, you know, I love game drives, but a walking safari is just a different experience. They do Sabi Sand guided 4x4 game drives and bushwalks as well. Of course, you know, Sabi Sand is very popular and very well known. They didn't do the panorama route tours surrounding Kruger, you know, the Mpumalanga scenic tours. So it's a fantastic day tour that takes you around and you see beautiful things like God's Window, and go to the works like potholes, which is really something to see. Very scenic and beautiful. Mariepskop, this is a place that is not touristy at all. It's about almost 2,000 meters above sea level, and it's the highest mountain in the area. So you can only reach it with a 4x4 vehicle, and there's a secluded picnic spot at the Blader River where they can spend a day enjoying snack and swimming in the river. So it's just an immersive experience within the beautiful nature in that region. Right, and then nothing is impossible. They can do fantastic helicopter tours, you know, when people can stop for lunch and snacks and champagne. Very popular with honeymooners and proposals. Right, so that is basically, they can also do the golf, you know, if you've got specialize in golfing, they can take people on golfing tours through the whole area. Right, and then they do also on the Blader River Canyon, they can do the ferry rides, which is a very nice experience and really something that one can do. You will actually see the rare living Kadishi Tufa waterfall and the 3 rondavels, which is very, very famous. Hot air balloon flights can be done. They basically start, they do 1 hour long flights over the Lowveld section of the Blader River, 15 kilometers west of Hoedspruit. So, you know, it's just like, you know, there's just something about a hot air balloon in Africa, you know, you have to experience it. Right, and then they've got a lot of adventure tours, river rafting, quad bike trails, hiking trails, aerial cable trails. And then in Hazyview, there is a row park, which is an elevated, very safe adventure, where they do interconnecting poles and trees from a giant jungle gym. So it's great for young and adults, and it's a nice family activity that they can do together. How beautiful is that? Right, then there is, they can do absolutely everything and anything, as you can see. Quad bike trails in Buffalo Land, and then they do 1 hour quad bike trails at Franklin Park at the foothills of Mariepskop Mountain. And then also more cruises on the Olifants River. And then there's something where you can immerse yourself in the local culture. You can visit the Shangaan local village that borders the Kruger and Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. The tours are really unique because you're going into the real rural areas where you will see and experience living in tribal culture as it exists today in Mpumalanga province. The tours will help to get you to know the country through the eyes of those who live there, which I think for all of us is the whole point of travel, is to open our horizons and experience more. Right, then they also do day tours to Mozambique. a full day Maputo tour that takes about 10 to 12 hours. So it will start very early in the morning. And it's a very, very cool itinerary, especially if you haven't been to Mozambique before. And then they also do a food and cultural tour. That's 4 hours to Mozambique. And then they do walking tours in Maputo, city tours, and what they call a Mafalala walking tour, as we actually discover the real soul of Maputo. If you haven't been to Maputo, I really suggest that you do. All right, and they do art and culture tours. It's really beautiful scenery. And they can even take you to Swaziland for a full day, Eswatini. And then they do cultural tours and lunches there. Even farm day tours, where you can, in Graskop region, you can see something different, experience a silk farm tour, gin tastings in Hoedspruit. There's just so much to do in the greater area. Right, and then Sabi Sand Nature Reserve overnight packages and tailor-made excursions. So they can also arrange and assist you with overnight packages. Right, so thank you. They've obviously won lots of awards and accolades. They work with the best lodges within Kruger and Sabi. You can see here's a few of their valued clients. Right, so thank you very much. That is it. Right. It doesn't want to exit. There we go. All right. Okay, so thank you very much. We're just 3 minutes over 60 minutes. So thank you very much to all the exhibitors for taking time to be here and for your great presentations. And to all the attendees, thank you very much. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to learn more about these products. So what we will do is everybody will be in contact with you, all the presenters. And then also we will send you a recording of the entire workshop. So a little bit edited, so you don't have everything in the beginning. It will start, when the actual workshop starts. So thank you very much. You must have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And we really appreciate you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Amanda.
Bye.
I'm just